The second action for today is a ambush of an English supply column in the Scottish Highlands during the Jacobite rebellion of 1745. In this skirmish, we have a column of British infantry bringing 2 supply wagons. They're escorting them, as well as meat on the hoof. There are actually 2 cows and a sheep and a goat for the British. Surrounding in the woods and area, we have 2 clan regiments with muskets and broadswords, and we also have Bitslago's horse hiding. And to add as a decoy, we have a priest and a civilian who are going to try to disrupt the advance, as well as 2 men dressed as English who are going to see what can happen. So, we'll see how this action progresses. The first action, of course, by the Scottish player, because they are allied to the French, they come up with an A action, meaning 1 action to deploy. So the civilians are going to walk out and meet with the advancing British, possibly to warn them of an ambush or just to cause rather interesting situations to happen. The British turn up their card and also have an A, which means that their officer shall go up and see what the trouble is. However, seeing as they've just halted, the 1 grenadier company is going to cautiously advance towards the rocks, and 1 infantry company is going to advance to a stone wall to take cover. The wagons are going to advance a little bit and try to hold themselves in readiness, whereas the livestock are also going to move up with their small escort covering their rear. Upon discussions with the English, the Scots now turn up a 2 card, which means that they are now going to fall on the column. Out of the woods, we have a group of Highlanders charging with their muskets and broadswords drawn to see if they can ambush the English. The full group charge out of the woods, and a small group of men with muskets are going to open fire, because once again this is a small scale game. Each figure is actually going to be able to fire. We have 4 muskets, 4 muskets fired, resulting in 2 soldiers being hit, meaning that half of this grenadier company has now fallen. We have 3 other muskets aiming at the British to their front, and only 1 soldier in that group went down. A few pistol shots go off, but do nothing. On the other side of the battlefield, we have a further group of Scots going to engage in the Grenadiers. They pivot and fire 2 shots, and they actually hit 1 of the Grenadiers. And luckily, this Grenadier actually has to be fixed, so he falls down. Bitslago's horse deploys out. towards the English in front of them, and they draw their pistols and open up, and only succeed in making a lot of noise and scaring the English, meaning that they fall back towards the wagons. The English turn up their next card, which would be another A, so therefore they are going to repel the charge with musket fire. 2 shots, 2 shots, 1 shot. Because they are of good quality troops, they get to roll again because they are regulars. They rolled a few 2s and 1s. And the small group of muskets Highlanders have been taken out in this group. Good shooting on that part. The soldiers defending the livestock open up and are able to actually knock down the 2 Highlanders coming towards them. The Grenadiers open fire and also are able to at least take out and force back some of the Highlanders here. The 2 Grenadiers at the front open fire but do not cause much damage. The officer is attempting to rally his troops. Morale check on the Grenadiers. They are falling back in disorder. The officer is attempting to control his fleeing Grenadiers. The British turn up. The Scots turn up another card. The Scots now have the super duper 3 card for their action. They are going to try to charge into the English. And because of the overwhelming psychological effect of Highlanders charging at you, they have to pass a morale check, which they didn't. They are now running away, fleeing, trying to save their own skins, having now left the livestock open to attack. The other English troops are actually standing their ground and are going to now commit to a melee. They force back one group, and fortunately they also are forced back. So a bit of a dilemma there for the Highlanders. Another group goes in, they want to fight again, and are beaten back. Pitsligo's horse now charged towards the officer and fleeing Grenadiers. And it results in a draw, therefore Pitsligo's horse fall back into cover. The muskets advance. Scottish muskets advance. One group checking their morale. They are going to come back into the fight and let loose a volley. 5 muskets firing on the Grenadiers, and the Grenadiers have now been eliminated from the battle. We still have 4 other musket fellows. They are now firing into the English on this part. And they are actually now in disorder. Thus far, it's a draw. However, the English are now going to attempt. They have a 2 action. They are now going to attempt to flee from the ambush. They're abandoning their livestock They've turned around their carts and are attempting to flee. English troops are falling back. Troops are falling back. The Grenadiers' morale is still wavered. They're still falling behind. And with a parting shot, the English open fire, taking out this group of Jacobites. And finally, one final volley from this main group, resulting in the loss of some of these musketmen. So thus, the end of the next turn, we have the Highlanders continuing their pursuit towards the English, charging in, muskets giving covering fire as well as harassing fire. Pitsligo's horse advancing down to chase them out as well, loosing off their pistols and eliminating the Grenadiers. The Jacobite muskets open fire, further confusing Lascelles, who are continuing to fall behind. And a final volley from the Highlanders on the other English group, resulting in half of them being hurt. Thus, the Jacobites have achieved a victory by forcing the English to fall back. They are unable to resupply their troops. However, the Jacobites have only succeeded in capturing 1 horse, 2 cattle, a sheep, and a goat, meaning that at least they'll have dinner tonight.